Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is Trading with Livevol. My name is Stephen Choi, and this is where you can where I trade my real Reg T account, and I use LVX to do it. So let's actually go right to my trading. All right, so this month I've been doing pretty well. So I'm up about 31,000 so far in the past 30 days. And as you can see, I'm up like 2,000 today. But just to kind of give you a wrap up of how I did it, because I'm sure like sometimes you guys, I've been on less lately because I've been pretty busy, only 3 times a week. But if you guys are trying to figure out how I did this, you can kind of see all the videos I've done, but it might not be as, you might still have some questions, right? So this 30,000, if I had to break it up, I'll just kind of tell you guys how I got it there, right? So about 10 to 11,000 of that was just from Hillshire. So as soon as the takeover started happening, and you see I have all these residual position, and after this expiration, I wouldn't have anything. But as soon as this started, right around here, I got in, and basically I kind of, I was in small, and I started with those original calls, getting them for free by doing that call spread. And that's how everything got started when I owned the 40 calls for nothing, and then they got the original bid, and then I basically subsequently met more and more bets, right? The final bet, which was my biggest, was that they will actually announce after June expiration the final bid, but that didn't happen. But in the end, I still made about 10 to 11,000 on just this Hillshire alone. So that's one. The other one is Mankind. So it wasn't like I was interested in the stock per se, but people kept on talking about it. It was on CNBC, so eventually I got into it. And I probably made about $7,000 so far in Mankind in the past 2 weeks. And basically what I did was I'm just rolling, right? So originally I bought this position right here, the June 10 calls, or the July 10 calls, the one that had the PDUFA date. And then I'm just, my thinking was that Mankind would stay around 10 and drift up to between $12 and $13 as it gets closer to the PDUFA date. And that was my original premise, and so I started just selling calls. So these I bought back today for a nickel and 4 cents just to close them out. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm hoping to see Mankind kind of run up because on the weekend on Friday, usually it runs up because there might be some news over the weekend, right? So so I'm going to try to sell these, right? The June 10.5 calls and the July 27.11 calls. And let's say I sell, you see how this is 40 cents. So let's say it's 40 cents times 130. 40 times 130. It's $5,000. So I could possibly sell another $5,000 worth of premium this week. So basically that's what I've been doing. It's just selling 4,000 to 5,000 each week. Of course there's some slippage, but basically it's been a tremendously great trade, and I think I'm just going to do it until the PDUFA date, which is 1, 2, 3. So I still have 3 more weeks. I don't even need to be in on any of the trades afterwards. I can just close it down, or I can do a trade if I want, but basically that's my premise. And so I made about $7,000 on Mankind in the past 2 weeks. I also made about $3,000 on all my other trading that I have that are my own, right? So you know, everything else from I did pretty well on XLU because it kind of went down. Then once I closed all my short position, it ran up. I'll show it to you guys. Right. So you know, I was leaning short, then I bought everything back, then it ran up, and basically today I was short 3 calls and somebody exercised them on me. So I'm short 300 shares while the stock is down. So probably at some point I'm going to buy the stock back. Probably when it retraces maybe back to this Bollinger Band. It could be actually right now. What is it? 362. Right. So basically, it's right at the top range of the Bollinger Band. You know, it might go down a little bit more. So I'm gonna try to close that out. Stuff like that. Other one is stuff like EM. I sold this straddle right here for the 43.5 for like, you know, 60 cents. And basically in a couple of days to go, and basically it looks like it's gonna pin right around there. So, you know, some stuff didn't work, but basically that's how I got my other 3,000. The other 10,000, and I wanted to talk to you guys about that, was from these guys, Trade a Minute guys. Now, the amazing thing with these guys is they start off each challenge with 3,000, and then they have 4 months to turn it into 100,000. This guy's already turned the 3,000 into $33,000. Now, if I knew he was going to turn it into 33,000, I would have been religiously following him. But because I have a job, and basically I missed a lot of his trades, so I missed like a bunch of his trades. And you know, previous challenges he wasn't doing as spectacular, so you know my radar wasn't as up. But this time around, he seems like he's doing awesome. And the part that's particularly attractive to his way of trading that I'm drawn to is the fact that I'm always doing some kind of spread or have some kind of position. I'm not really good at just buying calls and puts naked, and this guy just buys calls and puts naked and makes that kind of money. So I strongly suggest you guys to at least follow. We have a deal with these guys where if you go to the Trade a Minute, you can get a month free by just typing in live 569. So if you go into Trade a Minute and basically click live, type in live 569, you get 30 days free. And I'm telling you, this is completely worth it to do. And this guy actually, following his stuff, even though I missed like half the trades this month, I'm up 10,000. Now, just so you guys know, I probably won't be missing too many trades, or even if I am, there's some slippage. But like a lot of times recently, every time he does a trade, it really goes in his favor. So a bunch of times I got in, but I was like late to the game. But overall, I think what I generally like is he does stuff that I'm not that particularly good at and fond of, and he's a successful trader. So go to Trade a Minute. You guys can get this at Livevol community, right? Go to the blog, the forum, and type in home of the $100,000 challenge. It gives you a little explanation. But type in live 569 on when you guys go to Trade a Minute, and you can get a month free, which is awesome. So that's how I got 10,000 out of this 30,000 I've made so far this month. So 30,000 is pretty spectacular. Let me kind of put it in some context, because I wasn't doing that well for a while. So you see how this is since I started the account, right? So on December, I think I had a peak of like 47,000 profit, and then somewhere down here, I had the low of, although this, I think this was because of the bad mark, basically, you know, down like 15, right? And then I've had a pretty good rise since then. So just to kind of put, when I had this point right here, I took out, my account got up to 100, I took out 40, and then in this past like 6 months since then, I had to put in back 70, right? So I took out 40, I put back in 70, and now I have, and I started with 50, so I have a total of 80,000. That is actually what I contributed, and this is my account now. I'm almost tempted to put in another 20,000 to make it round 100, and then try to go from there. I was the reason I only started with 50 was because I wasn't familiar with the Reg T trading, and I knew I would make a lot of mistakes, and I did. A couple of them was really bonehead mistakes, but in the end, I knew that's how I would have to learn. And I'm kind of figuring out that you still can trade these deal stocks that I was really into, that I wasn't trading because I thought you can do it with the Reg T. But you know, I realized that like Hillshire and Mankind and IGT you can trade. So today, just so that's a quick summary of what happened, right? So I made 30 so far this month. 20 of that was like 11, guess like 17,000 of that came from like takeover and special event stocks, and then 3,000 was from just my own trading, right? So this morning, and I think I'm going to concentrate more on these kind of stuff. The reason I wanted to think about maybe putting another 20 in was I wanted more cash so I can do these takeover stocks. So today, basically, this Shire got a bid for $46 billion. Let me see if I can actually find it. Yeah, so basically, which one more? Right. So they got a bid for $46 billion from this company called AbbVie, and they rejected it. Of course, again, it has a lot to do with the fact that the lower tax rate, and kind of the same thing what Pfizer was trying to do with AstraZeneca, and for $46 billion. And so right now, the market cap is around 43. I think if they did sell for 46 billion, it would be like $236 or so. So usually what happens is your first bid is not always the best and final, which I talked to you guys about with Hillshire. So yeah, so basically what I did was I sold these, the one that are expiring today, and then I bought these. Except the stock has done nothing but go straight down. But that's all right. Usually I have to kind of like get my skin in the game. It's not always like positive at the beginning. And I'm going to try to see if I can get some more here, right? So I'm going to try to be like 635 bid. See if I can get some more. So I'm willing to basically, was it like $7 roughly times 4? So 2,800, so $3,000 on this bet. I have a bunch of other stuff working here, but doesn't look like I'm gonna get filled. But that's what I have, right? So the Shire is what I'm probably gonna start concentrating on a little bit. There's a couple of other stocks. I feel like this L'Oreal company, even though they've been on the news, I think if you go to my videos way back, I was kind of thinking they would get taken over way back in, I don't know, when it was trading like in the 50s, but I didn't do anything about it, right? I think it was like right around here. And and it looks like all it's going up. So I might like wait until like some time when it kind of comes back down, or if I have some extra cash. But possible takeout might be for up to $80, right? But right now, like I don't have the cash to do this kind of play, and I don't know when it's going to happen. But while I'm waiting, all it's doing is going up. The other one is interesting to me was this Applied Microcircuit. So the semiconductor company, right? So what's interesting is you guys already know that I was super bullish on Micron before, and all the order flow basically pointed it, and Micron's been doing spectacular, right? So I've done really well on Micron, just buying calls, following those guys, and you know, all it's done for the past this whole year has gone from like $2 to $32, and so it's done great. If you look at the semiconductor index itself, it's gone from like 30 to 630, which is like almost 20% return. But if you see, Applied Microcircuits, they basically at the beginning of the year was trading higher, so they're down like 11%. Looks like they've had a little uptick right here. Right, and commercial, and you know, we'll see how this happen, how it goes. Looks like they're poised for some growth going forward, even though they don't make any money, which is probably why the stock hasn't done as well as the others, right? But in general, the thing that kind of perked my interest is this right here. So people bought 8,000 of these for around 115, 120, and it seems like a pretty good bet. So you're basically betting on by July, August, September, October, November. So sometime here you're saying it's going to be higher than here, right? Which I think they have a pretty damn good chance of doing. I think it's a good bet. I just don't have any capital right now, or not as much. So I'm gonna put that in like some memo, see if I should actually get into it sometime in the future, right? So that's about it. The thing that I'm working on right now is I'm trying to roll the MNKD, obviously. When it went down, I basically bought all the calls back because I knew they wouldn't really decay too much until the very end. So I bought these back for 4 and 5 cents, right? And now I'm gonna just try to see if I can unload these for a certain amount of price. But it looks like there's some seller here. He's at 44 cents and it's been there for a while. So doesn't look like. Maybe it's one of you guys watching the video, but I'm gonna have to wait a little bit till the end of the day, and maybe I can sell the 5,000. So what I'm doing here, in a nutshell, is basically I basically keep selling these calls, and hopefully it just goes here and goes up just a little bit until the PDUFA date, which is a month away, and then at that time I can just take it off and do whatever, right? I was kind of bullish just because everyone was bearish on MNKD after the PDUFA date. So just to give you guys a quick recap, most people seems to indicate that you should short this stock, and it has a massive short position already after the PDUFA date, basically because that, you know, for various reasons. But essentially, they want to short it, right? Whether they don't have a partnership, whether it takes forever to realize this as a profit, whether how much little cash they have in the account, but whatever reason is, they want to short this Mankind after the PDUFA date, which made me kind of think like there could be some upside surprise, right? So I was thinking that, and then I read this Wells Fargo. I guess they presented at some Wells Fargo conference, and to me, what is curious is I don't think they have a finalized deal with a partner yet. And to me, that is kind of a small red flag. So I think in the end, that could actually prevent the stock from really getting the squeeze. And the stuff that I was reading about of shorting this might actually be true. But in the end, it's one article. Things could change, obviously, because they still have 3 weeks. And I'm sure they're talking to a lot of partnership. But these guys don't seem to be, I don't know, they don't seem to be as focused in terms of trying to land a partner and trying to monetize this right away. They're kind of still, I don't know, at like this kind of like startup kind of, you know, when you get enamored with your product, right? So in the end, I have to keep that. That's one more thing that comes into the factor of me trading this. Makes me less wanting to take a chance on the upside. Makes me want to do something more like this. So there was this trade that happened, and what this guy did was he bought one July 11 15 calls and sold the July 14 calls, right? Now, I don't know why he bought the July, but maybe he thinks if any deal gets announced, it's going to get announced then, or maybe for whatever reason, you know, maybe they're going to announce the PDUFA stuff earlier. But I don't know why he did it, but this kind of got me thinking 2 by 1 that what I could possibly do in July, if this thing works out okay, is close all my position here and just do a 1 by 2 here, right? So sell 1, 14, and buy 2 of the 15. Thinking that most likely it's not gonna stay in the 14 to 15 range, but it'll be away from $14. Whether it's completely down because they didn't get approval down to 5, or maybe there's some unknown thing that people are not recognizing, and there becomes a short squeeze and it goes up. So that's what I'm thinking. It's very fluid. I can change literally in the next 10 minutes if I read something else. But for now, that's what I'm thinking. Just for you guys who are watching this, I will be trying to sell these to the close, right? So I can try to get my $5,000 worth of data again for next week, which is great, right? Because my account is 100 and something, and then if you can get 5% of data per week, that's a tremendous return, provided, and also I'm only risking 15,000, right, or 20,000 or whatever. So basically, if you're doing that, if you're risking 15,000 to make 5,000 each week, that's a pretty awesome strategy. I'm almost like, I'm tempted to like do more, add on to it, but I'm not sure, reading the latest news on them, whether I should do that or not. But that's what I have so far. I'm expecting Mankind to run up to the close, because basically the speculation is you don't, like, the logic is like you don't want to be short over the weekend, right? So even if you're somebody who's short, you can actually buy it back and then short it again on Monday, right? If you wanted to get in, this is probably a good time to get in versus Monday, because you have an extra 2 days where they can actually, something can happen. So usually there's kind of like a little squeeze on these kind of stocks at the end of the day, and I'm kind of hoping that it doesn't always happen. And this morning I thought, uh-oh, maybe it won't happen today, but I'm still kind of keeping my fingers crossed that Mankind will cross the 1050 mark again, and I can sell these. If for whatever reason Mankind like really jumps up another 30, 35 cents, I'll be selling the June 11th. So, or maybe split it. But that's what I have so far. Oh, and IGT. So I have this trade on as well. Basically, I bought 50 of these for $265. I should have sold these for 50 cents, but I didn't because I missed it, and then I was stubborn, and I didn't sell it for like 30. I didn't sell it for 25. I didn't sell it for 20. I only sold 3 of these, and in the end, it looks like, you know, to me, it just seems like I should have sold it, but in the end, it is what it is. Now, looking at, I've been doing a lot more reading on IGT. There's a couple of factors. One is that they're still talking. There's multiple bidders, but I think GTech is the leader. The other thing is that the takeover price seems to vary between $17 and maybe $20, depending on what articles you're reading. So if it's $17, these are pretty crappy calls, because even if it works out in my favor, it's really not going to help me. But if it's like 20, then maybe it will, right? So I see this, 42. So maybe this could be a spread, right? Let me actually look at it. Yeah, it's a spread. So somebody find the October 16-20 call spread for like $1, so they can actually make 4 times their return. Which, you know what? It's not a bad trade. October 16-20. Let me actually see what that lines up to. Yeah, so this actually might be a better way of trading than what I have on now. But I have to think about it, right? So as these trades come in, so you see how I'm using the software itself. I need information. I see these guys doing this trade. This guy who did this trade probably thought about it. He didn't just randomly go, I'm going to do this 1,000 times, right? Or maybe more. He thought about it, he liked it, and then basically he put it on paying 112, right? 114. So let's actually do that. I'm gonna just put in 1 for 115. And I'm doing that so I can remember. Oh, I just got filled, right? So I did 1. Let's do it for 12. Okay, so I put another one for 112. So you see how I'm doing this, and then maybe I can get out of this one, right? I'll just put up like if I actually bet like 5,000, I have a chance of making 20, and I can just walk away from doing that and then do something else, right? So that's kind of it's actually, I've been looking for trades. This might actually be right up my alley, but that's how it is. So I hope you guys got some good info. It's a weekend, so enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you guys on Monday. Take care.